Hello. Welcome into the space of Namaste Sober. We meet every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, live in Zoom, to come together to support and encourage each other, move through some discussion on some yogic related topics that help support us in our personal development and our journey of sobriety. My name is Kate Fracci. I'm a 200-hour registered yoga teacher, among many other things, and I am really happy to be holding this space tonight. And actually, before I tell you what we're going to do tonight, I'm going to share with you the framework of how the class usually runs. So every time you come into the class, there is the agreements in the chats, and the agreements just help to hold this space, a sacred space and a space where we can be vulnerable. What happens here stays here. And so there's some beautiful agreements to help kind of hold us all together in that space. So as you come in to Monday nights, then you go into the chat, you type "with love," just stating that you are willing to uphold those agreements and thus uphold this beautiful space. We start out by reciting Master Yusui's Reiki principles just for today. And those are also posted in the chat, so you can follow along with those if you want to. After we do just for today, there is an opportunity for throat chakra opening. We open the floor to each individual present, and we take about 2 to 3 minutes apiece to share what's on our heart, celebrate, share what's on our shoulders. And it's just an opportunity to be witnessed. And then after each share, we all join in and we say thank you to the person, and we witness you, we support you, and we love you. And we take a moment to take a breath, to just give space for what was just shared. And then we go on to the next person sharing. After we have an opportunity to kind of just share and create a little bit of cohesiveness and community and support, then we kind of all come together and talk about the topic for the evening, which goes along with the practice for the evening. So we talk a little bit on the topic, gives you something to carry with you into your journaling forward. Now we move through a practice that is kind of based around what we talked about. So I have my beautiful sober sister Bethany with me tonight. And so we are going to show you how it's done. And again, to invite you into this space, because even if you're watching the recording of this video, you are still very much welcome in this space and held in this space as you move through this practice. So we're going to start out by reciting our just for today. And before we recite, we just drop into the space a little bit. If it feels good to close your eyes, you can. A couple of nice full breaths. Just call your presence in. And just for today, we'll not be angry. Just for today, we will not worry. Just for today, we will do our work honestly. Just for today, we will be kind to every living thing. And just for today, we will be grateful. Nice big breath in, dropping into that space of just for today. When we focus on what we can do just for today, magic things happen. So after, now that we've kind of dropped into our space, we're going to take some time to share. So I usually just kind of go first to open the floor, and that gives people time to get comfortable. Of course, I am Kate. I am, I don't know, almost 3 years. Oh, no, not almost 3, 2.5, 3 years. I kind of lost track of how long I've been sober. So there's that. I think that's something to be celebrated, because at one time I counted the days, And I was very proud of that. And 365 was a really big, like, that was a big deal for me to get to. And to think about that and think about the importance of that and how much that helped me reach that goal. Um, it's cool to just kind of be like, I'm not even sure how long it's been, but it's awesome. So just gonna keep going, but just for today. Like, I just wake up just for today. Okay, like, I'm ready life. And through the years that I've had the sobriety now, it's really strengthened my connection and the ability to just kind of surrender and be led and trust the process and trust the flow and be patient. Oh my gosh, has my patience grown? Um, I thought being a parent made me really patient, but this has made me even more patient, and it's worth it. It's so worth it. So I guess I'm just really I'm looking forward to kind of diving into these topics with this yogic philosophy tonight. We're going to talk about Satya. We talked about Ashima last week, which is nonviolence, so the Yama of nonviolence. And so tonight we're going to talk about Satya, truth, non-lying. And you know, how often did we lie to ourselves when we were drinking? Like, all the time, right? All the time. So and it has become a really powerful tool to not be afraid of the truth for me, and it's been a really powerful tool to actually seek out my truth. As I got sober, I kind of had to figure out who I was again and figure out what my truth was. So I'm really excited to talk about Satya tonight. So that's what I have to share. And I'm going to turn it over. Awesome. So, of course, you guys don't get in on the shares because that's what keeps this space sacred. Um, but we witness you, we support you, and we love you, whoever you are, wherever you're at right now. If you find this video, it's for a reason. And we are holding space for you right now in this moment for you. We witness you, we support you, and we love you. Okay, so that is really a space to be witnessed. It's not a time to judge, fix, give advice, or anything like that. And everybody gets an opportunity to share, and it's just a really beautiful time to just open up and celebrate or let things out for a minute. So now that we have moved through that, let's go ahead and come into a more easy seated position. If you aren't already there already, if you need a cushion underneath you, we'll be seated here for just a little bit for our discussion, and then we'll get moving. So go ahead and close your eyes. See if you can rock into the support of the tailbone until you kind of feel that spot where you can lengthen up through the spine. It doesn't have to be tension, going straight up, but just really imagine a line, crown to tailbone. Let the shoulders relax. Maybe even physically drop them, shake them off a little bit. Start to see if you can bring a deeper breath in. Call your presence into this space now. Full presence, the to-do lists, the worries, anything else than this present moment is on the side of your mat or outside the door. Just know that it'll be there when you're done here. You can choose to pick it back up, or if it's something maybe you don't want to pick back up, you don't have to. Take a couple of breaths here and just call your presence in with the inhale. Send out the chatter on the exhale. Maybe imagine rooting yourself into the center of your mat, creating a little personal universe for yourself here. As we gather and witness each other in this circle this evening, We recognize the sacredness and courage of vulnerability, the power of community as we individually expand, and the love that we find through forgiveness of ourselves. Let each practice we show up to be a guiding light, not only into ourselves, but on the path of sobriety and on the ultimate path of expansion. Take a deep breath, let those words land where they may. And then you can open back up your eyes and let's talk some yogic philosophy here this evening. So the yamas and the niyamas, they are two parts of the 8 limbs of Patanjali's Ashtanga yoga system. And I've been working on saying that more fluidly. I'm very proud of myself right now. So when we come to a Western class, like what I've been trained in and what we do, the predominant limb of the system that we experience is asana. So the postures, our physical practice, the movement is actually meant to bring you into your body so that you are like into your presence and you're prepared for stillness, which is why the shavasana tends to be a really important part of the practice. So when you're in a full 1-hour practice and you've moved and you've stretched and you've really exerted some force, equal amounts of effort and ease, you come into that shavasana and you've kind of moved some things. You've allowed yourself some movement, basically, of energy, of body, of thought, and then you can experience that stillness, and it gives you the opportunity to experience stillness, experience a little bit of peace, and maybe even achieve the 8th limb of the system, which is samadhi, which is bliss, oneness. You're one with the universe, and that so limbs 3 through 8 of this system are experienced in some form or the other when you deepen the physical yoga practice. So these limbs, numbers 3 through 8, are the asana, which is, like I was saying, like the actual physical movement, the pranayama, which is the regulation of breath. You're drawing in the life force energy through the exchange of breath. The 5th one is pratyahara, which is shutting down everything beyond yourself, which is why I kind of ask you to like call your presence in as you're breathing, call your presence in, set your things outside of the mat. So you're kind of setting that stage of like shutting everything down beyond yourself. So your senses kind of draw inward, and you kind of experience a relief from those external distractions. And Lord knows we are all hyper stimulated. So the 6th limb is dharana. I still am working on saying that. This is a lot of Sanskrit for me to say, okay? Focus and concentration. Dhyana is meditation, unity of body, mind, and breath, which is another thing we stress a lot as we move through a practice. And then, of course, the last one is samadhi, bliss, oneness, what we seek. So yeah, there's a lot going on the mat as we are moving through a practice. And the cool thing is that as long as you stay in your breath, as long as you stay focused kind of like in your center, these things kind of just happen naturally and you get to experience them. But then you can bring an awareness around what's going on. And that just like deepens the connection, deepens the understanding. And so, yeah, that's why I think it's kind of important to kind of share this. So also, the other thing too is like as we're moving through the practice and as we're kind of practicing these limbs and these pieces, we're also practicing, acceptance of ourselves and observance and understanding of ourselves on a deeper level. So again, lots of magic going on. So the yamas and the niyamas are what we're kind of focusing on. We're working through here and how it relates to being sober and how it relates to just being a happy human. So The Yamas and the Niyamas. The Yamas are a restraint in thought, word, or physical action. Yama means to control or contain. The Yamas are principles of ethical behavior that we should follow in everyday life in relation to others and ourselves. And then the Niyamas are personal observances, our intimate relationship with ourselves. Practicing these leads to more authenticity and more presence. So, like your niyamas, your personal observances, your intimate relationships with yourself, do you break promises with yourself a lot? Or do you try and honor what you've set forth in front of yourself? So that's kind of the niyama, and the yama is like um, last week we talked about a shima, which is nonviolence, which is just acting in um, always acting with love and not causing harm with what you're doing. So the other ashimas besides nonviolence is non-lying, Satya, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, and non-stealing, non-sensuality, and non-greed. So these are all just basically like kind of how we understand how to be a good person. And we can deepen into that understanding. Um, with the niyamas, the niyamas are purity, contentment, austerity, self-study, surrender, and attunement. So that just kind of gives you a little bit of a broad spectrum view of what we're working with as we, um, uh, you know, zoom in to this little, piece of what we really want to explore this evening, which is truth. Satya, non-lying. So Satya means truth, and in the quest to become authentic yogis, in the quest to stay sober, in the quest to really experience life, um, I think we find more and more that there really is not a place. There's no place for dishonesty. Um, it just there's no place for it. But that can be hard sometimes, right? How can we find our truth if we don't behave truthfully with others? That's a big thing too. Like, look at where maybe you're not being fully truthful outwardly, and that might show you inwardly where there might be some truths that need to be acknowledged. So, another question to ask is like, why too, like with the truth, it's like sometimes we get so scared to tell the truth because it might, we think it might hurt somebody, or, I don't know. It's like, I don't know why sometimes we get so scared of the truth, but, why should we be fearful of any consequences when we're speaking the truth? Because if we're speaking the truth, we're speaking from our heart, we're speaking with love. And how is that wrong? And how can you do that to yourself? How can you do that for yourself? Speak truthfully to yourself from a place of love so that you can receive it with love and really shift some of those things that need to be shifted. So, yeah. There's a quote that I found by T.K. Desikacha, and it says, Satya should never come into conflict with our efforts to behave with Ashima. So we talked about Ashima last week, and here he's kind of saying, this non-lying should never come into conflict with our efforts to behave in non-violence. And so then it gets a little bit trickier, doesn't it? Shoot, right? So essentially, if we are speaking truth, if like our speaking truthfully is going to hurt others, then we just shouldn't do it. Acknowledge the truth, know that our higher source knows the truth, and move on, I guess, really. This is such a reminder that the world that we live in today is really complicated. And we just have to do our best. We just have to do our best to act out of love and honesty, and acknowledge that sometimes they do contradict each other. And what do? You get quiet, you ask for guidance, you pull your card deck out, maybe you cry a little bit, and usually you get some guidance. So and you can't do any of that when you're drunk. You just drink about it. It doesn't do anything. Anyways, So, another thing we hear a lot about too, and I even say it, because I'm finding my truth. For crying out loud, in my journal, I have truths of 2020. And that was kind of like, what did I learn in 2020? What are my truths that I'm carrying forward? And then truths of 2021. What is true now? What is true? I'm going to decide what's true. I'm going to write my own truths. So yeah, what does that mean? How do we find truth? In reality, I think like finding your truth is about listening better to what you're already saying to yourself. Your innate wisdom is already there. We are our own wisest guide. All of our answers are inside. And when we are able to put obstacles out of the way and sit and get quiet, we don't have to feel like we're searching for anything. There's not any finding to be done. All you have to do is listen. And the beautiful thing about yoga and meditation is that it gives us that space. It gives us that space to get silent and hear what is already there. So, yeah, that's Satya. That's truth. And as we move into our physical practice tonight, I really want you to think about that, carry that with you, and I'll be helping you along in that. So we're going to start tonight's practice with a mantra. And so I'm only going to sing the mantra 3 times. I'm going to tell you what the mantra means. And after I'm done like chanting it 3 times, then I will say it in English 3 times. And then I'm going to let you just kind of repeat that in your head how it will. You don't have to have it perfect. It's just maybe the energy of the mantra. So if you have found yourself relaxed now as we've had a conversation, coming back kind of into your easy seated position to start our physical practice this evening, carrying this Satya with us, this Yama of Satya. And as you come into your seat and prepare for this physical practice, please know that you need to listen to your body first, listen to me second. If at any point something we're doing doesn't feel right, there's a sense of danger or discomfort, return to this easy seated pose or return to your child's pose and just rejoin us when you're ready. If you decide to take a rest, do so with a sense of ownership, not a sense of defeat. It is in rest that we cultivate the strength to shine again. If it feels good to close your eyes and shut out that visual stimulus so that you can come into your seat this evening. The mantra that I'm going to chant is Om Kriyam Namaha. It means my actions are aligned with the universe. My actions are aligned with the universe. So like I said, I will chant that 3 times to enter into our practice. I will say it 3 times in English. Then we'll take some time to breathe. Om Griyam Namah. Om Griyam Namaha. Om Griyam Namaha. My actions are aligned with the universe. My actions are aligned with the universe. My actions are aligned with the universe. Keep breathing into this. Feel your seat beneath you. Feel your spine straight. Feel yourself aligned with the universe. My actions are aligned with the universe. Keep breathing. See if you can breathe into that belly. As you exhale, let the shoulders and the legs relax. Keep breathing. My actions are aligned with the universe. Big full breaths into the belly. Couple more. Feel your alignment. And go ahead and start taking the crown around in one direction. You can take a full circle, or you just want to go shoulder to shoulder, ear to ear. Whatever feels good in your body tonight. Just give the spine a little bit of a wake-up call. Of course, always moving with Ashima, non-violence. Taking the time to release that tension through the exhale so that you can hear your truth this evening. Take your head circle in the other direction. Notice what you notice without judgment as you take the crown around. Use the breath as a tool to quiet any mind chatter and release any of that tension that you might be feeling as you're taking the head around. Go ahead and bring your head into neutral. Oh, just lost my nose ring. Anyways, readjusting because we've been sitting for a minute, taking the shoulders and just rolling them backwards if that feels good, rolling them forwards if that feels good, maybe letting the spine sway a little bit side to side. Whatever kind of loosey-goosey movement you want to find for a second. And then go ahead and take your arms, inhale nice and big, stretch them all the way up. Let the palms meet and bring that down into your heart center. Let that bring a bit of invigoration as you inhale into that upper body. Yeah. One more time. This time, as your palms meet overhead, interlock your fingers and just turn your interlock up towards the ceiling. Let your shoulder blades relax. Let this just be opening. And then lean to the right just a little bit. Let the lean come from the waist. Let the cheeks stay planted. Inhale up and exhale over to the other side. Oh gosh, that feels so good. Stay open. Try not to fold over like that. And if you can only go just a little bit, just go just a little bit. You don't have to go far, far over. This is where I'm at, and that is where you're at, and it's beautiful and it's perfect. Inhale up and exhale. Release those arms down. Wipe that slate clean. Get a little bit of loosey-goosey going again. Let's go ahead and take the legs straight out in front of you. I gotta take this long old thing off. All right, legs straight out in front of you. forward fold. This is gonna feel amazing. Make sure that you're rooted and your legs are relaxed and that you're really ready to enjoy this forward fold. Inhale the arms all the way up. Let that straighten the spine and then bending, folding at the waist. Oh yeah. Not concerned about touching the toes. You can keep that alignment from the crown to the tailbone, or if it's feeling kind of good to round, you can. Should never be any stretch or tension in the back of the knees. If there is, just let the knees bend. You can sway side to side. You can bounce the legs if that feels good. Take a moment here in this forward fold to find that little piece of stillness in the breath. Using that breath to untie the knots in your body and in your mind. Oh, that's how good this feels right now. I hope you're feeling the same way. Just that full back body stretch. Breathe into that for these last 2 breath cycles. Just really imagine the breath traveling all the way down the back body and then all the way back up. And then as you inhale those arms up overhead. And you can relax the arms down to the side. We're going to go into Lord of the Fishes. So draw the right foot up. Let the right foot rest. The bottom of the right foot is rested on the mat. Take the foot to the outside of the left knee. Now, did you notice when I took that out, I went, eh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fingertips to tent, and then I'm going to pull that left leg that's long back towards me. You notice how now I can sit up a little bit straighter. So then you want to take your right hand and bring it behind you, tent your fingertips, hook that elbow, and then when you're ready, looking over the right shoulder. Now, if looking over the right shoulder is too much, that's okay. If just looking forward is enough of a stretch for you right now, that's fine. Find where you are for this pose. Find where it's most beneficial for this hip here to get stretched. And breathe into it. You just want to make sure that, again, you're not slouching. You want to have that intention of straight line from the crown to the tailbone. Oh, yeah. One more breath. As you inhale, come back to center. Send that right leg long. Left leg comes up. We're just doing the other side now. So as you get set, again, taking the left foot to the outside of the right knee, and then you gotta readjust. Perfect. Take the left hand, let it float behind. Right elbow hooks. I always like to take a nice inhale to sit up straight and then look over the shoulder. This can be kind of an intense stretch, so really take your time easing into and out of it. Make sure you use that breath. Notice where you might be tight in the legs and see if you can use the exhale to relax. One more breath here. And then as you inhale, coming back to center. Send both legs out straight, and let's take an easy seated forward fold again. Just kind of straighten everything out. It's called a counter pose. Notice how this might be a little bit different than the first time we were in forward fold. It's always nice to make observations, non-judgmental observations. It's where you can learn things about your body and yourself. or just an opportunity to breathe in stillness and quiet. Go ahead and inhale as you do. Sweep those arms up, reach up towards the sky, and then as you exhale, let the arms come down to the side. Go ahead and draw the soles of the feet together. We're going to take a butterfly. A lot of times in butterfly, I like to have a pillow under my booty. Just helps to tilt my hips better so I can get a better stretch and I can sit up nice and straight. So find your butterfly. We're going to find a little bit of stillness here. So once you kind of suss around and do a couple of flutters, find what works best for you. If you want to take your heels away from the pelvis a little bit, you can. Whatever works. And then resolve to remain still for 3 breath cycles as you breathe. Shoulders are relaxed. Big inhales through the nose and out through the nose. One more time. And now we're going to take a couple of breaths out of the mouth, but we're going to let the air come out like that, because that feels good. And that's just what's needed. Nice big inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Keep the jaw relaxed. Inhale and exhale. And if anything, it made you smile. So moving on from butterfly into child's pose. So find your child's pose. Big toes touch, knees go wide, hands walk out. This beautiful, loving surrender. Taking the time to relax into this. You don't have to go as far as you can into child's pose right away. You can take a moment. You can maybe start up here without your bum on your heels and take a breath. And then as you exhale, let that be the permission that your body needs to release. And then maybe again, as you exhale, gradually sinking into this pose of surrender and relaxation. Your body actually can relax a little bit deeper in child's pose because all of those vital organs are protected. So breathe into that support from the earth. Make some space for truth. And it's totally okay to make noises on your exhale. It's all a release as you start to come up and out of child's pose. Find yourself in tabletop position. So from tabletop position, of course, you want to make sure you have your firm foundation. Make sure the tops of your feet are on the earth. You're not bowing or bending, flexing, stretching. We'll do that in a minute. Just pretend like some kids need to have a tea party on your back. It's a matter of life or death. So from this foundation here, I just want you to take a moment. Take a moment. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel that foundation that your body provides. Feel the foundation that the earth is supporting you from beneath there. Go ahead and extend your right leg long. Extend your left arm long. Tricep parallel to the ear. Just a nice bird dog to kind of get things activated. You don't want your leg too far up. Just think a nice straight line and notice maybe if you're leaning to one side or the other, see if you can bring yourself right into center. I was like thinking about squeezing the arm and the leg towards the center, engaging the arm and the leg, core is engaged, breathing, just using this, just activate some stuff quick here. One more breath, fully activated. And then come back into tabletop position. Turn that right wrist around and just give it a little bendy, give it a little stretchy. Coming back into that foundation, coming back into that tabletop. Again, connecting with the foundation. And then as you're ready, taking that left leg long this time. Left leg nice and long, toes pointed. Right arm extends. Spine is neutral. Line from the crown to the tailbone. How you doing? Extend that. Maybe even imagine shooting fireworks, butterflies, bubbles, paint, whatever, out of your fingers and toes. Keep breathing here and feel this as it activates your body. Your arm is engaged from the fingertip to the shoulder. Your leg is engaged from the hip to the toe. That core is supporting all of this. Breathe one more time here. Big breath. And then exhale, bring it back down into tabletop. We're moving into down dog, so go ahead and tuck the toes under. Maybe walk the hands out just a little bit. Plant those hands as you take the feet, take the hips up. Find yourself in that down dog. Again, checking in with that foundation. Your hips are up towards the ceiling. Again, that line from the crown to the tailbone. The ears are in line, again, with the triceps. The fingertips are wide, maybe even having those fingertips kind of digging into the mat a little bit as you push the heels of your hands into the mat to support you. This helps to distribute the weight and takes the stress off the wrists a little bit. Tuck that navel up a little bit. Breathe. Feel the invigoration. Taking a nice big inhale. As you exhale, bring your feet to your hands and come to the top of your mat into a forward fold. Come into that forward fold, and just like as when we were seated, take a moment to kind of, shimmy it out a little bit, find a little movement here now that we've come fully to standing. A couple of good big full breaths. Maybe starting to feel that aliveness that a practice can bring to us. Before you root to rise, I just want you to make sure you have enough room in between your feet. Your feet should not be right next to each other. And then I want you to bring a really generous bend into the knees so that you can roll up and feel the support strengthen and straighten you up as you root to rise all the way up nice and slowly in your own time, and then raise your arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down to your sides. And then again, inhaling, bringing the arms up and exhaling back into that forward fold. This time, as you inhale, take a halfway lift. That's a flat back. It's kind of shoulders kind of slide down the back a little bit. And then again, back to that forward fold. Walk your hands away from your feet so that you can find a plank position. As you find your plank position, see if you can tuck and just engage everything. Feel that strong body engaged, blood pumping. You're like, oh my God, are you going to make us hold this? No, I'm not. Okay, come on. Inhale, and then as you exhale, keep the elbows tucked, lower down, find your up dog. Find your back bend for this evening. You can always do the Sphinx and then tuck the toes, return to down dog. From here, take that right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog, hips stay square with the ground. Swing that right leg through, plant it in between your hands, and turn your left toes out so that that left heel plants. Bring a generous bend into the right knee. We're setting up for warrior one. Build your strong foundation. And as you inhale, arrive in the pose, radiate from warrior one. Find yourself in this pose. Nice big inhale. As you exhale, open up those arms to warrior two. Still breathing, inhale, turn that palm up and reach that palm up towards the sky as the left hand slides down the thigh, peaceful warrior. Nice big inhale. Exhale back to that warrior two. Straighten the front right leg and then bring that right hand down to plant on the inside of the right foot and open up. Breathe. Palm is facing the way that you're open. Back left toes are still turned out. Nice big inhale. As you exhale, bring that left hand down. Frame the feet. Turn those left toes in, but we're not quite done yet. So you can bring a bend to that knee again, and you can either bring that back leg down or you can keep it up. We're going to do the crescent lunge. So whatever works for you to have the knee down or the knee up. Inhale, and again. Rise up into the pose, radiate from the pose. Find yourself in the pose and move with integrity. Nice big inhale. As you exhale, go ahead and bring the hands down to frame the feet. Really plant the hands so you can send that right foot all the way back. Plank. Move through your vinyasa to return to down dog. Getting that heat generating now, huh? Take a breath here for a moment. If you need to bring a generous bend into the knees as you're in down dog tonight, you can do that. That's okay. You see how my back is still straight though? And my ears are still in line with my triceps? Yeah. All right. Three-legged dog on the other side now. So left leg goes up to the sky. Swing that left leg through. Right toes turn out and plant so you can set up for that warrior one foundation. Again, really working to set up a beautiful foundation before you rise up into the pose. Inhaling, arrive in that warrior one. Radiate. Move with integrity. Satya. Truth. Inhaling. Exhaling to warrior two. Gaze is over that front hand, looking out into that beautiful, bright future full of truth and love. Nice big inhale. Turn the palm up. Peaceful warrior. Hand reaches up and the right hand slides down. Back thigh, breathing. Exhaling, returning to warrior two. Straightening that front right leg and then coming down with that left hand to the inside of the left foot. And then opening up that arm. And if the arm is too much, That's okay. Just want to be open, almost like you're in between two panes of glass. So if you turn this hip open a little bit too. And again, if you're feeling a stretch in the back of your knees, bring a little bend in the knees. Breathing. And then as you exhale, bring that right hand down. Frame the feet. Turn that back toe in. And remember, we're going to go into that crescent lunge. So if you need to bring that back leg down, you can. That's what this looks like. Otherwise, make sure you have that foundation. And again, as you inhale, arrive in that crescent lunge, radiate from the pose, move with integrity. One more breath here. As you exhale, bring your hands down to frame the feet. Send that left foot back so you can find that plank pose again. And guess what? Vinyasa through. Back to down dog. I'll meet you there. Take your time. Once you get to down dog, just take a moment to breathe. Or if it feels more appropriate to go to child's pose at this point, you can do that too. If you need to return to child's pose, you can do that as well. So down dog or child's pose right now. We're just going to take a moment to breathe. Were you able to move with integrity and move with ashima as we moved through a little bit of a vigorous vinyasa there? Take a moment to observe with no judgment. And then let it go. Come into tabletop position. Remember that beautiful tabletop. Hold on, I gotta fix my pants. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's do some cat cows. As you take your cat, pushing through the arms, drawing the crown and the tailbone towards each other as the navel tucks up. As you take your cow and you inhale, letting the navel drop down towards the earth. Again, taking the crown and the tailbone towards each other. Take some space here to move with the rhythm of your breath. You can close your eyes and see what truth lies within as you breathe. A couple more. And now coming back into tabletop and taking a child's pose. Returning into your child's pose. Again, taking a moment once you get there to just kind of breathe. Exhale into the pose a little bit. Notice how this child's pose feels a little bit different than the first one you did. Make that observation. No judgments. And then continue to breathe and deepen into your child pose. See if you can listen. What do you hear here? Pause in this in-between space and hear your heartbeat. Listen for your heartbeat. Hear your inner self. Use your breath to clear the channel. What does your body tell you now? Slowly, gently, still moving with integrity, coming out of child's pose. We're going to take camel. A nice back bend. So as you rise up out of your child's pose and maybe come to tabletop, you can maybe take a moment to swing them hips around. Do. Then you can come on up to your knees. I keep looking at this shirt. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm excited about this. Anyways, my shirt looks amazing sideways, so you'll be able to see how camel pose can be very beneficial. I guess we'll just tie that, we'll just throw that in there. Camel pose is a back bend. And so before we actually go into it, I want you to know that you want to keep a little bit of engagement in your abs. Also, if you can keep your toes down, like your feet like rested on the mat like that, great. I have short arms, so I can't even reach. So I tuck my toes under. So we're going to do half camel. And if you feel called to do full camel, great. Just think length, extension. You never want to be like really cranking your head back because it's not really doing anything. You really want to have that length and extension in that back bend. So go ahead and inhale the arms up. And as you exhale, go ahead and drop that right hand back till it hits your heel. And then again, you're going to notice how this is asking your abs to stay engaged. And again, I'm not cranking my head all the way back. I may be looking up and back just a little bit. Inhaling, we're going to windmill the arms so that the left arm goes back, the right arm comes forward. And that's just gently switching sides. One more time, switching. And here, if it feels good, you can bring that other hand back. Just be very, very gentle with your neck and your back here. And if you do have lower back issues, I would just suggest doing one at a time. Taking an inhale, bringing the arm up first, and then slowly straightening the spine out and untucking the toes. So just always be really gentle when you're working with your back bends, okay? Okay, so we're going to do one more. Coming down onto your belly, we're going to try a bow pose tonight, okay? This is an opportunity for you to move with integrity, truth, that Ashima and that Satya. Grab the outsides of your feet. Make sure that you don't pull the feet outwards when you rise up. When you rise up, you're going to push through the abs. You're going to engage the abs. You're going to push your feet into your hands so that raises the upper part of your body. That's bow pose. So now that you know where you're going, we're going to move with integrity. Nice inhale. Oh, yeah. And this can be intense. So if you go for it and you're like, well, nope, that's okay. Coming back down. Take a moment, and then as you inhale, kicking into the hands, letting that raise you up. Oh, baby. And lower it back down. Good job. Go ahead and take your hands underneath you very gently. Bring your knees back up so that you can take a child's pose. Beautiful counter pose to these back bends. So we'll just take a moment for child's pose. You can definitely feel Your spine saying, oh yeah, oh yeah. Thank you for showing up today. That's what your spine would be saying if it could talk, just so you know. Take a breath or two. And then we're going to walk up and we're going to transition onto your back. Because guess what? We're almost done. Coming onto your back, we're going to take bridge pose. So from your back here, walk your shoulders down a little bit, walk your feet a little bit closer to your hips. Go ahead and make sure that you're just relaxed. That upper body is kind of relaxed into the mat. Your arms are straight out beside you. Take a moment here to reorient. Now that we've flipped onto our back, take a breath. Take another one. Then go ahead and as you inhale, push down through the feet to lift up the hips. So push down through the feet, lift the hips up, squeeze them booty cheeks together. Don't let the knees fall open. Keep those knees pointed straight towards the edge of your mat, the end of your mat. Go ahead and you can interlock your hands underneath and have your arms straight. Abs are engaged. Nice big inhale. And exhale down into the ground. We're going to do that one more time. Nice big inhale. Push them hips on up there. Earn that yoga booty. Feel that invigoration as you breathe in and breathe out. Quads are engaged, abs are engaged, glutes are squeezing. And as you exhale, go ahead and bring her on down. Oh, let's take some windshield wipers. So take the feet, walk them away from the hips a little bit, walk them about as wide as your mat. And then you're going to take your knees side to side together. Keep contact with the sides of your feet on the mat. Take your arms wide and just let the knees go side to side. Again, this is an awesome, gentler hip stretch, especially after we've been moving and grooving. Yes, 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 yes. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale to center. Exhale to the side. Oh man, do a couple more of these. It's feeling good. Oh, yes, sir. Yes. Okay. Bring the knees up to center here. Go ahead and hug the knees into the chest too, quick. Let's do that quick before we start to really wind down here. You rock side to side. Oh, man. I hope that you got a very good stretch this evening, because I feel like I did. Go ahead and take the feet to rest on the earth, and then draw the soles of the feet together as you let the knees fall open. So we're going into Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly. Probably take your heels away from your pelvis a little bit to be a little bit more comfortable. Again, open up the arms nice and wide. Take a breath here. And remember those funny little breaths that we did out of our mouths at the beginning of practice? We're going to do that again here. Inhaling and exhaling. Again, inhaling and exhaling. One more time. Inhaling and exhaling. Ugh. Oh, yeah. Take a couple of breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Awesome. Send your legs long. Send your arms straight up overhead. Full body stretch here as you prepare to enter into Shavasana. And as you are here in Shavasana, you can bring your arms down to your side. Let your feet fall open. As you lie here in Shavasana, I will hold space and time for you while you breathe and enjoy the best part. Also have my tongue drum this evening, so I'll be adding a little bit of ambiance. So as you're entering into Shavasana this evening, as you're relaxing into the space of stillness, love, truth, peace, give yourself permission to be fully in this space. Use your breath as your anchor and your guide. Know that you can't shut out or quiet all of your thoughts, but you can be an observer, a non-judgmental observer, casually observing the passing nature of all things. In the space of silence before you move into the world, listen again to your deepest voice. There is nothing to fear from turning within and heeding the desires that you hear. Listen for your truth as you breathe. Take one last big, deep, full breath here in stillness and silence. As you exhale, know that you have created a new beginning for yourself. As you start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, coming back to seal in our space here this evening, this time that we've had together. So you're ready, take a full body stretch. Stretch it out. Take a nice big old deep breath. That always feels so good. Then, of course, as you're ready, rolling on to that right side, taking your time. So if you're already sitting up, you should lay back down. You should be laying on your right side. You should be in that like fetal position, that comfy little spot. And again, take another big deep breath in and deep breath out. Acknowledge yourself for showing up to this practice, showing up for yourself. And now, as you're ready, bring yourself gently up into seated, and we will seal in our practice this evening, our practice of truth. I invite you again to be thinking about your truths this week. So go ahead and take a nice big inhale with the arms up overhead. Palms meet. Draw that into heart center, knowing that you are a bridge between heaven and earth. Next inhale, bring those arms up overhead, and maybe this time imagine fortifying your rose quartz bubble around you. Nothing less than love in and nothing less than love out. One more time, inhaling all the way up. It feels good to be alive and in this space. May we be safe and protected. May we be healthy and nourished. May we love and be loved, and may we truly be happy. Namaste. Sober. Thank you for being here this evening. We meet every Monday night at 7 p.m. for practices just like this. Yes, I want to